Okay, hi everyone. So today we'll be doing May-June 2019, paper 3. Let's read number 1. Number 1 says, a company. Now, when you have worded questions, I like to read the question and that first, just to get a gist of all the information that they have given me. Alright, and then I'm going to read it a second time, and this second time is where I'm going to underline what I think is important for questions, right? So they said a company which employs 10 unskilled and skilled workers, so 10 is the combination of unskilled and skilled workers, produced two models of toys, Model A and Model B, right? Model A requires 20 hours of unskilled laborers, while Model B requires 15 unskilled laborers. Model A requires 10 hours of skilled labor, while Model B requires 25 skilled laborers. Each worker provides 40 hours of labor per week. Calculate the maximum number of hours per week for unskilled and skilled laborers. Right. So when they said the most important part in this question so far is let's how much unskilled we have 10 unskilled and 8 skilled workers, right? This have nothing to do with the question. Well, part A I should say, but 20 hours for model B and 15 hours of unskilled labor. Sorry, model A is 20 hours of unskilled labor and model B is 15 hours of unskilled labor. Model A is 10 hours of a skilled laborer, and model B is 25 hours of skilled labor. Okay, they said each worker, how long are they working for? 40 hours per week. Right? Calculate the maximum number of hours per week available for all unskilled labor. Now, how many unskilled laborers do we have? We have 10 unskilled laborers. Right? So we know that if one unskilled laborer is equals to 40 hours, right? Then how much unskilled do we have? 10. Then 10 unskilled laborers, I'm just putting USL for unskilled laborers, would be 40 multiplied by 10, which is equals to 400 hours of work, right? Then so that's the answer for this. Calculate the maximum number of hours available per week for unskilled laborer. Because it's 10 unskilled, there will be 400 hours in total, right? For skilled, we know that if one skilled laborer is equal to 40 hours, then how much skilled laborers? Then 8 skilled laborers or workers would be 40 multiplied by 8, which is equals to 32. Well, 320 hours. And that would be the answer for this question here. Right, they just want to know was the total number of hours that unskilled laborers are working. All the unskilled laborers are working, which is 400 hours. And for the skilled laborers, it's 320 hours. So let's go down to the second part of the question, or part B. Assuming the factory makes X models for A and Y models for B per week, show that the inequality of unskilled is 4x plus 3y is less than or equal to 80, and skilled is 2x plus 5y, which is 64. Alright? So we know that, what did they say for model A? And we're talking about for unskilled. Let's go up. For model A, the unskilled is 20 hours. Alright? And for model B is equal to 15 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Now they told you that the number of hours is X. So your total number of hours, well, it would be 20X plus 15Y. How did I get 20X and 15Y? If I know, so for one model is equal to 20 hours. They told me that the number of hours for model A, it makes X. So X models, and we know what your if then therefore, that would be 20 multiplied by X, which is 20X. Alright? And the same thing for Y. One model is equal to 15 hours. And Y is for model B. So Y models, we don't know what is the number, so they give it a letter. 15 times Y, which is 15Y. Now, if you add 20X plus 15Y, this would be less than or equal to, what is the total number of hours that they would work? 400. But if we look at this, the coefficient of X is 4. So what 20 divided by what would give you 4? 20 divided by 5. So I'm going to divide this entire thing by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4x. 15y divided by y is 3y. And 400 divided by 5 is 80. And that is how you would do this part of the question. Okay, so when they ask for skill, it's the same process that you're using for part 1. So model A is equals to 10 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And model B for skill is equals to 25 hours. Let us just do it. So we know, and this is for model A, right? One model is equals to 10 hours. So for X models, it would be 10 multiplied by X, which is equals to 10X. Right, and for model B, we know one model is equals to 25 hours. Therefore, for Y models, it would be 25 multiplied by Y. Right, so now we can say that 10x plus 25y is less than or equal to 320. Yeah? Now, we want the coefficient of x to be 2. It is right now 10. So 10 divided by what would give you 2? 10 divided by 5. So if you divide this out throughout by 5, you get 10x divided by 5 is 2x. 25y divided by 5 is 5y. And 320 divided by 5 is 64. So this here would be your answer. Alright, let's do part C. Show by calculation that it is possible to make 15 toys model A's and 5 model B's. That means if it is model B A, that is X, and B is Y. Alright, so we need to show for both skilled and unskilled. So for skilled, we know that it is 2x plus 5y is 64, and for unskilled, it is to 4x plus 3y, right, less than or equal to 80. So for this one, we're going to put x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 5. So it'll be 2, we know the relationship between 2 and x is multiplication. So that's 2 by 15 plus 5 by 5 is less than or equal to 64. 2 by 15 is 30. 30 plus 25, is it less than or equal to 64? Let's just see. That is 55. It is indeed less than 64. So we know that your skilled laborer can make 15 models of A and 5 models of B. Alright? Let's see for unskilled. That's 5. Sorry, not 5. That's 4 by X. Excuse me. That's 4 by 15, right, plus 3 by 5. 4 by 15 is equal to 60. 60 plus 45, right? Sorry. That is 3 by 5. I don't know why I put 15 for y. 3 by 5. 3 by 5 is 15. So 60 plus 15 is equals to 75. Alright, so 75 is less than or equals to 80. It is indeed. So we know that for skilled, you can make 15 models of A and 5 models of B, right, with some hours to spare. And for unskilled, you can make you can make 15 models of A and 5 models of B with 5 hours to spare. Right, so we know that they said show by calculation, and this is how you show it, right, that it is possible. Let's read part D. I think this after this we have finished number 1. The factory makes a profit of $40 on model A and $60 on model B each. Write an equation for the total profit P per week for making X model A's and Y model B's. Alright, so we know that one, this is for model A I'm talking about. One model is equal to $40. So X models, which is A, would be 40X. That is how much money you would make, right? 40X. 40 by X. X could be whatever amount. And for model B, one model is equal to $60. So for Y models, it would be 60Y. Alright, 60 by Y. So my profit would be equal, because they said a make profit of $40 on model A and $60 on model B. So my total profit would be 40X plus 60Y, and that would be the answer for this. Right, for part 2, what profit to the company when it makes 15 A toys and 5 B toys? So if we know your profit is equals to 40X plus 60Y, and you know that X is model A, so that's 15, and Y is model B, which is 5, my profit would be 40 multiplied by 15 plus 60 multiplied by 5. Alright, which is 600 plus 300. So my profit would be $900, and that is how you would find your total profit for 15 models of A and 5 models of B. So part C says, show that the profit calculated in D, part 2, is not the maximum profit. they're asking you if making 15 models of A and 5 models of B is the maximum that they can do within the period of time. Now, this is the, and we're talking about what we need to understand is for unskilled, let's just put this here, unskilled, the equation was 4x plus 3y is less than or equals to 80. And when, and let's put skilled was, how much it was 2x plus 5y. 2x plus 5y is less than or equal to, I believe it was, I'm gonna call it a 64. Right, now when we found out 15 and 5, we saw that they still have extra time. Each one of them had extra time. Alright, so that means they could have made another model. Right, so if we were to put, let's say they said that x was equals to 15 and y was equals to 5, right? But if I were to put an extra, let's say x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 6, would it still be less than or equal to 80 or less than or equal to 60? Let's check and see. So that is 4 by 15. I would not add extra 15 because when we did it here, you saw that both of them had an extra 5 hours, right? Sorry, extra 3. So I would not put 3 by 6 instead. 4 by 15 is 60. 6 3s are 18. 60 plus 18 is 78, which is still less than 80. So if they did add an extra y model, sorry, an extra extra model B, you would still be able to satisfy the number of hours that they're working. Let's see for skilled. Same thing, 2 by 15 plus 5 by 6, that is 30, plus 6 5s are 30, which is also 60, is less than or equals to 64. Now if we were to add anything else, an extra 3, right, let's say instead of 6 you could say x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 7, right, we would not get, you will get a value greater than 80. You could always just check it out in your calculator. So therefore this here is the maximum number of toys that they can make. Alright, so what you would say, the profit in D part 1, right, is equals to $900. Yes. And in model A is equals to 15 and model B is equals to 5. It does satisfy I should type this down, hold on. If my maximum number of they did just say to show the working, so you don't need to explain, right? If your maximum number of toys, x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 6, you can increase both just to make sure. Let's say x is equals to 16, right, and y is equals to 5. Let's see if it satisfies. You will just check out this on your calculator. That's x by 16 plus 3 by 5. right? You'll get 79, which is thing. But let's check 2 by 16 plus 5 by 5. But you would not want to increase X just because Y is more expensive. Well, model B is more expensive, right? So that is why I'm increasing model, sorry, not model, but I'm increasing Y, which stands for model B, right? You're getting $60, while for X you're only getting 40, right? So you would use a little bit of calculation on your calculator and just play out along with these numbers. If um, x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 6, put it in both equations for both skilled and unskilled and see if you are getting the less number of hours, right, than what they are working. So we have 78 hours to make 15 models of A and 6 models of B, right? And 60 hours are made to make 15 models of A and 6 models of B, right? So you can also even try this 50. If x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 7, you can put that in, but you'll get more. I'm telling you, you'll get more. You use a calculator and you'll get more than 80 and more than 64, which is not something we want, right? We don't want them going overtime. We want them to be working for the exact amount, right? So what you would say, and then so my profit here would be, we said it is 40x plus 60y, and we said x is 15, so profit is equals to 40 by 15 plus 60 by 6. So my profit is equals to 600 plus 360, which is equals to 960, which is in fact greater than 900. So therefore 960 or $960 is the maximum, right? So you can play around with these numbers, increasing the number of models for A and increasing the models for B, but remember, you just need to make sure that it satisfies these inequalities. The number of hours they work, the total number of hours they work for unskilled must be less than 80 or equal to 80. And for skilled, same thing. So when you played around with the numbers, I increased Y and I said, well, I increased Y because that stands for model B and you're getting $60 for model B, right? So that's why I increased Y first. After I increase Y, I can go and check to see if I could increase X and have 6 models. Y is equals to 6 and X is equals to 16, but you will get, it would not fall within the range. So X will have to stay at 15. And then you could increase Y, say Y is equal to 7, like this here, but you would still get it would be over the amount for both skilled and unskilled, right? So that is how you would do this question here. Let's do this now. Then number 2, the diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows a flexible piece of card in the shape of a sector of a circle with a center O. So right, this is the center, so O to R is 18, so O to P is also 18 centimeters. They told you that the degree for this here is 140. Pi is equals to 22 over 7, right? So I would say radius is 18, pi is equals to 22 over 7. Show the perimeter of the card. That is, if we're looking at your perimeter would be O to R plus R P, which is known as Q, right, in brackets Q, plus PO. We know that ROR is equals to 18. We know that POOP, however you want to say it, is also equals to 18, and R, or not R, RP or Q, in other words, is an arc, right? And we know that the length of an arc, so length of arc is equals to theta over 360. That's how much degrees your arc is, over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r, right? So which is equals to 140 over 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by r, which is 18 over 1. Do this in your calculator. That's 140 divided by 360 multiplied by 140 over 360, and I can do this, all of this in my calculator, right? So I'll put 140 over 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 18, and when I multiply it, I'm going to get 44. Alright, so my parameter would be 18 plus 18 plus 44. So plus 18 plus 18, and I am getting 80 centimeters. And that is how you would show that the parameter of the card is 80 centimeters. It's 80 centimeters. Then they said calculate the area of the card. Now we know that is area of a sector. And even if you do not know, remember these formulas that I have been using is in your formula sheet that is given, is provided. So length of arc length, you see, that is theta over 360 by 2 pi r, or area of a sector. They are giving you the formulas. So these things, if you cannot remember the formula for it, it is given in CSEC, right? So area of a sector is 360 theta over 360 multiplied by area, which is pi r squared. Right, we know theta is equal to 140, pi is equals to 22 over 7, and radius is equals to 18. So you're going to put that in. That's 140 over 360 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by open bracket 18 close bracket squared. And exactly how I have it here, you can put it in your calculator, right? So 140 over 360 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 18 squared is equal to 396. And let's make that centimeters, and because it is area, it will be squared, right? Yeah, so it will be 396 centimeters squared, and that's how you would do this question here. Part C says the card is bent and the edges OP, let's see, OP and OR are taped together, so the card forms the curved surface cone with base PQR, right? So it will create a circular base, right? That is, yeah. Draw the diagram of the cone form showing clearly the measurements of 18 centimeters and the perpendicular height and radius of the cone. So I'm going to draw a cone. I'll draw it in red. So we know a cone is like this, right? And then you have this, or something along those lines, right? Your centers here, which is where O is at. So from here to here is known as R. Let's make this a little bit smaller. This is R. We said that they tape the cone, so that means this curve length from here to here is 18 centimeters, right? And then we have this length from here. Oh my god, let's just use this length from here to here is equals to your height, because that's what they're asking you to find, well, show, right? They clearly show where the 18 centimeters is, which is the curved here, right? Obviously guys, you will be drawing this a little bit better. All right, the center here is O, this is R, and this here is your height H, right? And that is 1 mark right there. They said calculate the radius of the calculate the radius of the circular base cone. Okay, so what you need to recognize is, remember, this entire length form your circle, and what does Q, right? So let's just mark that out. The circle part is Q, and Q was equals to 44. Alright, now they're asking you about the circle base and asking about radius. So we know that my circumference slash Q is equal to 44. We know that circumference of a circle is 22 pi r, or 2r pi, whichever one you want to put, which is 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by r is equals to 44. This is equals to 44 over 7 multiplied by r is equals to 44. You're going to carry across this multiply by, because you want to make r the subject, yeah? So r, why am I doing this in, right, let's do this in black. R would be equals to 44 over 1 divided by 44 over 7. Why divide? Because if we carry across multiply over the equal sign, I'll turn to divide. So my radius is equals to 44 over 1 multiplied by 7 over 44. Remember, when you're dividing fractions, you simply turn the division sign to multiplication and flip the fraction after your division sign. 44 into 44, 1, 44 into 44, 1. So my radius is equal to 7, and that would be the answer for this question. Using Pythagoras' theorem or otherwise, determine the perpendicular height of the resulting cone. Now, we know Pythagoras' theorem. We know our radius is 7. So they're asking you for this height here. What type of triangle is this? This is a right angle triangle. Alright, so let's we'll put in the values. That is your radius plus your height, your perpendicular height, is equal to 18. What radius squared plus height squared is equals to 18 squared, or your slanted height squared. Alright, what is the radius? That's 7 squared plus 8 squared is equals to 18 squared. So 8 squared would be equals to 18 squared minus 7 squared. And h, if I carry, so I carried across plus 7 squared, which turns to minus 7 squared, and I'm carrying across square, and the opposite of squared is square root, so it will be the square root of open bracket 18 squared minus 7 squared close bracket. So h would be equals, you're putting this in your calculator exactly how I have this here. You're going to put square root of open bracket 18 squared minus 7 squared close bracket, and you'll get an answer of 16.58312395, which is 16.6 centimeters, and that would be the answer for part 2. And that is the end of May-June 2018.